Our first speaker, you know what's interesting in the Herp Club is there's so many people here that are very specific. You know, we have some gecko folk, we have some dark frog folk, we have just some weird folk. You know, there's just like a lot of folk. And so I'm going to invite Brian and maybe his son to come on up. Come up too. Ball python folk, and I'm going to talk about some really cool work. So.
Okay. No, we were laughing forever. So I got some ball pythons out here, just some basic morphs. Didn't bring anything too spectacular. Quick care on these guys. We keep all of our snakes in racks. Females, adult females are in 41 quart tubs, and the males are in 32 quart tubs or 20 quart tubs. They all have belly heat. With a thermostat, use either a Spider Robotics or a Helix. It's a digital proportional thermostat, and then we have it backed up with a Renko or a Johnson control. You've seen too many tubs get melted, and having a backup thermostat can't hurt. It's a good thing to have. Having so many, we don't really go any, elaborate. We have paper towels, newspaper, and a water bowl. That's about it. They get fed about once a week. Babies get fed every 4 days. We try to do frozen thawed when we can, and rats. Those are our preferred is frozen thawed rats. Obviously, they don't all go that route, and we have to, do some mice and live every once in a while. But temperatures, we've got these guys in their own room. The ambient room temperature is about 79 degrees, and the heat is around 90. A really good thing to have is a digital thermometer. Don't go off the dials or the little strips that you put on.
Is it a rectal thermometer?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Janet.
Okay, I'm just going to run through a couple that I brought in. I didn't bring in as many as I wanted to. I was kind of rushed. I got off the work late, and some of these guys are in sheds that don't look as good as they normally would. But I'm just going to pull them out, tell you what they are, let you look at them for a minute, and if you got any questions, just throw them out there.
Hey Ryan, I just forgot to ask. Do you do this as a hobby? Do you do it as a business? Just so both people know. Okay.
Started off as a hobby. Can't tell you when I started liking them. I've always, enjoyed doing it. We do it as a business also, but not enough to where I still have a full-time job. So they're making enough money to pay for their own food and electricity and all that kind of stuff, so I can put it back into it. But it's for the love of the hobby, and that's why I do it. So sure.
And Ryan, what is the name of your business?
Oh, it's Silver State Exotics.
Thank you.
This is a pastel mystic. Mystics are fairly new. I don't want to say new. They're about 4 years old. Anyway. It's comparable to Ralph Davis' Phantom. You bring them to a Mojave, and you get a purple snake. So that's what a mystic is. And we got lucky enough to have an adult female mystic, and we bred her to a pastel, and this is a female pastel mystic. So when she gets bigger, I'm going to end up breeding her to a Mojave male, and hopefully get some pastel, really light purple snakes.
Ooh.
Ryan, what part of the mystic shows in her? I mean, you've identified her as that.
Well, the mystic is kind of a subtle morph. It's it kind of resembles a Mojave, but it's diluted. So on her the high flames, the blushings on the side, and her overall look out of the clutch. If I were to bring the other clutch mates in with her, you could tell that she was different from the others.
Brian, how do you get that from a mystic to a pastel or a mystic potion?
How do you get a mystic potion?
Yeah.
A mystic Mojave.
Mystic Mojave. Yeah.
here, we have an albino and a butter. This is a codominant morph, and it's pretty close to a lesser, which I also have. You can shed somewhere. There's a big controversy over the difference between the two. But you breed this to a Mojave or another butter or a lesser, and you get a blue-eyed leucistic, solid white blue-eyed snake. Very, very pretty. I think John knows about that, right?
There was a big question in everyone's mind. Was John getting home with a Lucy?
Yeah.
Albino, recessive. Still one of my all-time favorites. They're more readily available now. They've come down in price quite a bit, but I still think they're just stunning to look at. And hopefully next year we'll have some albino hides. So that's exciting. We're working on that.
Will the Herp members get a discount? On albino hides?
Maybe. Mojave female. It's got some nice blushing. So it's a codon. If you breed two Mojaves together, you'll get a blue-eyed Lucy, but it's more of a dirty look. It's got a dark head, and it'll more often than not have a yellow stripe down its back. So when if you want a really clean white snake, it's better to stick with the butters and the lessers. Okay, this is a orange hypo. It's another recessive. Not a whole lot to say about it. We're working on caramel glows, which are caramel albino hypos, and that's kind of like a, I guess it's got the caramel look, and then where the blushing is, and that's purple. So that's kind of neat. Hopefully we'll have some of those next year. This is a piebald. This is actually what I got. This is one of the main reasons I got into ball pythons in the first place. And yeah, I mean, everybody who sees one, you can't help but like it. So.
Are those going to come down anything, or are they still pretty strong?
Down to
price.
How much? Because they're down. You could get a hatchling, a low white hatchling for about $700.
Oh, really? I know. It's been a while since I checked it.
Ryan, would you say that a lot of dealers right now are doing like a pied with a het pied for like around 1,000? Have you seen that?
Yeah, depending on the size.
Yeah.
And the quality. A lot of people like the high white. Some of the low whites are nice. I like the low whites, but what I don't particularly like is the extreme high whites. It's got just pattern on the head, and then the rest of the body is white. I figure if you're going to do that, you might as well just get a leucistic.
Have you produced pies before?
Yes.
Is it genetic? Do you think the high weight is genetic?
That's controversial too. People say that the low whites can throw high whites. In my opinion and in my experience, the low whites tend to throw low whites, and the high whites tend to throw high whites. But it varies. You can get a high white out of a low, but I wouldn't bank on it. So. Got some babies in here. There's a pinstripe. And this is the lemon blast. This is a pastel pinstripe. I don't have the regular pastel. I forgot that.
Ryan, do you see this evolves from morphing as they get older, that they put on more color or get darker?
It depends on the morph. But yeah, they definitely change. Spiders will get a little bit darker. The pastels will muddy up a little bit, depending on the line also. You always want to go with quality over price, because you want to selective breeding. And this is a bumblebee, but it's from a stonewash pastel line from Stan Rubble. I don't know if you can see the difference between these two pastels. This one's more of an orange. This one's kind of got more of a yellow, I guess, to it. They're just two different lines. Selected bred over the years, you know, to create a certain look that these guys like. This is a from Nerd, it's a lemon pastel, and that's what Nerd calls his line of pastels. They're all the same, they're all pastels, but he line bred his to get higher oranges, and that's, you know. This guy you can't really tell. This guy is a vanilla. He's kind of got a lighter color. Not a whole lot of interest in these, but when you breed this to a fighter, which is a similar looking snake, you get what's called a vanilla cream. And you guys, if you want to know what that is, you can go and Google it, because it's a really nice looking snake. And I can't even begin to tell you what it is, but it's just awesome. Everybody go Google it.
Sounds like a 31 flavor or something.
It might be. And there's also a super form of this. It's kind of cool. Like the pastels, they have a super form.
Which makes that co-dominant.
Correct. Here's a VIP Xanthic, 100% het albino. So this one's going to be making us some snows. And this is the yellow belly. Oh, maybe you can't see it. These guys are one of those morphs that are kind of subtle also. You can tell by the pattern and the color on the top, if you know what you're looking for. But you can also tell by the belly, and there's a pattern on the side of the belly that if you know what you're looking for, you can find it. And you breed two yellow bellies together and you get an ivory. And that's kind of a white snake. I wouldn't consider it a leucistic. It's got a very dominant yellow stripe down the back, but it's a white snake.
Will two ivories continue to make ivories?
Yes. This is the lesser, and he is a lot prettier, but he's deep in shed right now. So he is kind of like the butter. As far as color goes, I don't know if you can really, well, he looks darker now because he's shedding, but there's a lot of controversy going on about whether or not they're two separate genes at all.
Now they're certainly
This guy is really bright though. After in the shed, I was really bummed out that it was dark for you guys. This is Enchi. Almost like a pastel, but these guys have just gotten really popular lately because they started breeding these champagnes, and it really brought out the pattern in it. They're breeding it to a lot of animals that are pattern killers, and the Enchi seems to come in and bring the pattern back out. And it's also co-dominant, super Enchi, but they're mainly been going with combos. So everybody's doing Enchis these days.